Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, caller. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Abdullah. I'm calling from Fulham.
Oh, wa alaikum Assalamu alaikum, Abdullah. Do you have a question for Ustad today?
Naam. I want to ask, does Islam oppose modern day science?
So, did you hear that?
No, could you repeat the question, bro?
Does Islam oppose modern day science?
Okay, mashallah, jazakallah khairan. We'll get that question answered, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan once again, brother Abdullah, for calling in. So, very interesting question, actually.
Yeah.
Does Islam oppose modern day science? Are they compatible or do they clash?
Okay. Alhamdulillah, salatu salam ala rasulillah. So science, many of the science scholars were actually Muslim, and the Islamic world, they had a big contribution to the development of science. And Islam is a religion that encourages ilm. Unlike Christianity, historically, they discourage people from seeking knowledge, other knowledge than Christianity. And so Islam, even many of our scholars like Imam Malik and others, they even encourage their people to not just study Islamic studies, but to study medicine and science and philosophy and other subjects. Philosophy obviously has its guidelines, like science and everything else. Now, science is not a religion. Islam is a religion. Islam guides our way of life. Islam tells us what is good for us, what is not good for us. Islam is comprehensive. Islam, we get rewarded for every good deed, and we are accountable for any sin. Science is just a knowledge, so we can't compare the two. They're very different. And if there is a scientific research or anything to do with science that proves or strengthens an Islamic verse, then this is just a benefit. We benefit from that. It might increase the iman and so on. But we don't use science to test what is truth or not. We know Islam is the truth. And if there's a scientific research that supports something that we say, it's just a benefit. It doesn't mean we have to rely and depend on it. Yeah. So, for example, one of the controversial theories that are attributed to scientists is the Darwin theory, the evolution theory.
Yeah.
Now, the Darwin evolution theory, you can divide it into two. There's the microevolution and there's the macroevolution. Now, this scientific research, subhanallah, when I looked into it, it actually increased my iman more than, give any question marks or anything. Because this research actually proves the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the things that it says is that we have a common and a shared attribute, you can say, with every living thing. So, for example, a plant, it has cells that it multiplies. Humans, they have cells that multiplies, and this is what makes us grow. Animals, they also have cells that grow. So every living thing, it has cells in it. And it multiplies. This is what makes us grow, as we just mentioned. Now, isn't that a proof that the fact that all of this is common and universal to each other, that the designer of all these things are one designer?
It's true.
The fact that in every living thing there's something similar between us all, isn't that proof that there is only one designer, one creator, one person in charge of designing all of these creations, all of these such things? Now, then they mention, for example, and later scientists or some later scientists, they mention that we evolved from apes. Now, this is a challenge until now. There has been no proof, actual proof, to show that human beings, they transformed. I don't want to use the word evolved. They transformed from apes, and until now they call this the missing link. There's been, historically speaking, creations before us that extinct. For example, we've had animals that probably extinct. We had creatures or a creation that probably existed before us. As we know, this world, human beings lived in it for a short time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this dunya before human beings, but when we lived here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed any dangerous living species so that we can live here. Before that, it was the jinns used to live, as mentioned by Ibn Kathir, the historian scholar, before Bani Adam. So perhaps there were creations before us, and perhaps some of their skeletons still exist until today. But this doesn't say that these are our ancestors. There's no proof or there's no link to that. As for, you know, they will say, yeah, but we share so many genes with apes. Well, human beings share so many genes with so many other things, such as even a cauliflower or broccoli. Do we say that we transformed from a broccoli? To answer the brother's question...
Faisal might have.
To answer the brother's question, that, you know, there is lots of... it is compatible in many ways. And things that some scientists claim that are against our religion, we reject.
Yeah.
And things that support our religion, we just benefit from it.
No.
We take it. So we don't have to believe it or disbelieve
Yeah.
it. No.
So we don't use it as the core of our religion, but if something supports it, then it supports it. Cool, you know, that's cool to know, like that,
Yeah.
you know. Jazakallah khairan, Ustad. Now what we'll be doing, inshallah, brothers and sisters, is moving on to our reflection part of the show, where we reflect over a portion of the Qur'an, or around the portion of the Qur'an that will be